That was disappointing.
You heard it from a fan right here. Pack is back.
Hey, what do you say? What do you say? It's Go Pack Go All Day. Back again with another video, and this time back in the studio. So, the Green Bay Packers go up against the Dallas Cowgirls on Sunday Night Football, and the game ended up being 40-40, a tie, surprisingly, because everybody thought the Packers were going to absolutely demolish this Cowgirls team, and they probably should have. They should have. Not could have, but should have. Again, another one of these games where a whole lot of people had a high lot of betting. There was a lot of betting going on. People were betting crazily for the Packers to win this football game. So, in doing so, they made sure that this game was close. But I didn't know that this game was going to be tied in overtime like that. So, the one thing also you got to keep in mind, the Packers were without three of their top offensive linemen. They were without Zach Tom, their top offensive lineman, and Aaron Banks, who they signed in the offseason, and Anthony Belton, the second rounder from the NFL draft. Dallas Cowgirls, for the most part, they were without C.D. Lamb, who usually does not play all that well against the Packers. Guy's got freaking butterfingers for hands, so I'm surprised he's still where he is, who he is. But he's got paid. So this was a disappointing game overall. The Green Bay Packers, they look strong from the start. They score a touchdown. You get a touchdown pass to Romeo Doubs in the end zone, and McManus makes the extra point. Then the Green Bay Packers get another touchdown, another Romeo Doubs touchdown, but then on the extra point was blocked, and the Cowgirls ran it into the end zone for a 2-point gain. So the Packers were basically down. I mean, not really down. They were up by just 11 points after scoring 2 touchdowns. They got to figure out what's going on with the special teams. My father thought that the Cowgirls were offsides during that blocked extra point. I would have liked to have seen the replay on it. So also in the second quarter, Dak Prescott comes in and rushes in for a touchdown. It's 13-9. It seemed like the scoop and score extra 2 points kind of changed the momentum a little bit. Then Dak Prescott scores a touchdown before the half. The Packers were playing like really dumb with the clock. I don't know why LaFleur was playing so aggressive before the half. He could have just ran the time out, and the Packers could have been at a better spot. So starting the second half of the game, the Cowgirls got the ball, but the Packers were able to score a touchdown, get the ball back, score a touchdown, and it was 20-16. Then the Cowgirls retaliate, and they get their touchdown. And Ferguson scores a touchdown from Dak Prescott. Extra points good. It's 23-20. Now you're into the fourth quarter. The Green Bay Packers get a touchdown in the fourth quarter. It's 27-23. Then the frackin' Cowgirls score a touchdown, and it's 30-27 Cowgirls. Then the Packers score a touchdown, and it's 34-30. Romeo Doubs gets another touchdown. He had like 3 touchdowns in this game. That's crazy. So Romeo Doubs gets his touchdown in the fourth quarter, and then the freaking Cowgirls turn around and get their touchdown. Pickens. However, there was a whole lot of holding going on in this game. There was an intentional grounding going on in the overtime that was not called. It was very strange. They kind of sat there and looked at it for a while. Not sure why they didn't call it, but it should have been a intentional grounding. And so going into the freaking overtime, it's 37-37. Holy smokes. The freaking Cowgirls get a field goal. But then the Packers, they were playing really dumb time management. They could have gotten a touchdown. They were just diddle-daddling down the field. but they had to settle for a field goal to tie the game. The game ends in a freaking tie. Holy moly macaroni. But I couldn't tell you how many times Micah Parsons and the Packers defensive line were held throughout this game. If you have a guy wrapped around his neck and he's already past you, you got to let him go or throw the flag or do something. The referees were obviously were favoring the Cowgirls. I know some people will say otherwise, but holy smokes. Yes, the Cowgirls had more penalties thrown at them, 11, and the Packers had 7. But there was some obvious strange things going on in this football game. I am not happy with the results. Yeah, it ends in a tie. It doesn't end with a loss. But the Packers should have straight up destroyed this team. Packers special teams, Bo Melton did phenomenal in catching and returning kicks. However, the Packers defense on the special teams need to freaking figure it out and not let the other team run down the field so easily. But if you look at the stats, Packers did way better statistically. More passing yards, more rushing yards, more overall yards. Packers crushed them in first downs with 32. Cowgirls had 26 first downs. Cowgirls had punted the ball more times than the Packers. Packers had fumbled one time, but, Packers should have freaking won this game. There's no doubt in my mind. Josh Jacobs did decent with 86 yards rushing. Jordan Love threw the football for 337 yards and 3 touchdowns. 3 of the touchdown passes were to Romeo Doubs, I believe. Yeah, Romeo Doubs had 3 freaking touchdowns. Whoever has him on fantasy football, god dang, you just got a ton of points just from having Romeo Doubs. But I still don't like the fact that the Packers have Matthew Golden returning footballs and running for it. I thought, there was one point in the game where they straight up did a headshot on Golden. He caught the football and they hit him head to head. And his helmet, that should have been a penalty there. There was so many opportunities there where the refs could have called this game down the middle, and it didn't seem like they wanted to because they wanted to make sure this game was close so that the NFL makes money from the betting. People need to stop betting on the Packer games. Just let the Packers play this game down the middle. Anyway, now the Packers are heading into week 5, and they can't win and they can't lose. And they can't tie because it's their bye week. It's a really, really early bye week. And the good thing is that they're going to rest up a lot of their players. Their players are going to be rested up. And they are going to get Christian Watson back. And they might even get Marshawn Lloyd back. And hopefully they get their offensive line back. And hopefully they figure out what's going on the special team so they can fix that issue. Now, the Packers are still, I think, if they can fix all their issues, make it to the playoffs, they are going to be a tough team. Still, Cowgirls got very lucky in Jerry World. That's what they call it, Jerry World. Micah Parsons had 1 sack, which I thought wasn't really a sack. It looked like Prescott got past the line of scrimmage and tackled him and prevented him from getting a touchdown, but they called it a sack. Strange, right? I don't know what happened to Rashawn Gary, but for the most part, there was a lot of holding going on in this game. If the defensive line is past you and you're holding them by their necks, I'm pretty sure that's a penalty. Or if you're going out there and you're the Cowgirls and you're pushing players in the back, pretty sure that's a penalty. But overall, this was a very disappointing game. I'm very disappointed in the NFL by the way how they officiated this game. This could have been a whole lot better than it was. I know some people sit there and oh man, it was a great game. It was tied. Man, as a Packers fan, I wanted the Packers to win this football game. I would rather lose a football game than tie this football game. So I think LaFleur probably should have just tried to get another pass in at that 1 second mark at the final part of the game. A half a half win is a tie is basically a half win. It's not even a full win. So right now the Packers are not even in first place anymore in the standings. It's the goddamn freaking Detroit Lions on top of the division. Sadly, and the freaking Bears won their game. The Vikings, however, lost to Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. So there is hope for this team to turn it around. It's a long season. It's a long season. I know some people are acting like I'm on the freaking team. Like, what happened there? What happened there? I don't know. Maybe they should have had their freaking glasses on, the freaking referees, and seen these penalties that they didn't call. Or they shouldn't be in cahoots with all the betting. But that's all I got to say. That's all I got to say. Hit that like, comment, and subscribe buttons, and go Pack Go all day.